What's up, guys? We are back. Turf Wars with Chase and Josh. Been a lot of crazy news around the NFL last couple of days, and we thought we'd just hop on, go over a couple stories. I know it's been a while. We've been at the beach and doing all sorts of stuff, but thought we'd get back on here, maybe do a shorter video tonight and just go over the breaking news.
Yeah, just cover. We thought it was just going to be two or three things when we were texting, and then we started thinking about it. And like the
Uh,
last 3 weeks has been, I mean, it's been something almost every other day. Um, but yeah, we
That's
we
why the NFL rules. It's
the NFL rules. It's always
it's
so
year
it's
round.
reality TV, man. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, we're gonna try to jump on the train of when we do the fantasy with Jones on here, it's three of us, and we once the season gets going, we're not gonna have time to do those hour and a half videos. So and most people aren't sitting down watching an hour and a half long video unless they're in the car or something. So, but this is gonna be our first attempt at trying to keep it a little bit shorter. So
We'll
I
see
say
how that goes.
we'll see how it goes. I say we just jump right into it, man. And I'm a screen share, just looking at the articles and stuff that we're gonna talk about. And first things first, let's
D Hop.
pull up. Let's see. Where did it go? Hold on. Where's D Hop at? So I think I pulled up the Titans. So first thing we're going to talk about is this guy right here that I'm circling. Is DeAndre Hopkins signed to the Titans? Our bet was neither of us won. You had
No.
him going. Where'd you have him going?
I had him going to the Jets.
Yeah, and I had him going to the Browns, and it was looking like it was the Browns there for a few days.
Yeah.
But he went against his word, said he was trying to win, and wasn't about the money, but he obviously wasn't getting the market he thought he was going to get, and went with the Titans, who are,
I don't know why the Chiefs didn't drop a bag on him for a 1 year deal.
what was his?
Like, how much cap space do the Chiefs have? Like, if they have like 15 mil left, just say we'll give every penny to you for 1 year.
Let's see. So
He didn't
Diop,
get that much.
he
He
signed a
didn't get
2 year,
anything
26 million
crazy.
with a 10 million, almost $10 million signing bonus and 10 million guaranteed. So I mean that's a pretty for a I hate saying the word aging, but in the receiver market, 30 to
But
33 is aging. So
I don't think that's what he thought he would get. I
I
thought
thought he was going
he
to get
thought
more.
he would get like 17 or 18.
Yeah,
And if he signed a 1 year deal with the Chiefs or the Jets or whoever, I could see him dropping like a $20 million bag on it
yeah.
to try to win the Super Bowl. But
Yeah, well, I mean, the team going to the team. Obviously you're a Colts fan, so this is kind of upsetting to see. You got to face him twice a year now, but um, uh, he makes the team better, obviously, because they had no receiving. I mean, it was
yeah.
Traylon Burks or bust. I mean, if Burks didn't have a breakout year, you know, Colton Dowell might have to step up and get some playing time. But you look at the offense now, having Derrick Henry and Hopkins on the same field, you know, it's pretty scary. But uh, then we got our guy Will Levis not even making second string yet. Um, so
He'll be out of the league in 3 years.
yeah. Well, who knows what's gonna happen with this team, man.
Here,
He went for the
it all boils down to Tannehill.
yeah,
If Tannehill plays good, the Titans we've seen, last year they weren't great, but years prior they were the number one seed in the AFC. If Tannehill plays good, you know, I think D Hop is probably Vrabel's telling the GM what were we doing getting rid of AJ Brown,
yeah,
and I think the Titans have a new GM this year. I'm pretty sure. So,
yeah,
with no AJ Brown, it was put 9 people in the box against Derrick Henry and make Traylon Burks beat us,
yeah.
and it didn't work out too well for him.
Well, 2020 with when there was no fans in the stands and the oddball year, that was his best year. 33-7. It's a
Yeah.
really good year. Rushing in 2020, he also had 7 rushing touchdowns. Um, you know, I think he's
Yeah.
still got a little bit of juice left. I think
But it all depends if they get off to a hot start. Like if they're 500 or better, they're gonna leave him in there and try to make the playoffs. But
yeah,
if for some reason they got off to like a 2-4, 2-5 start,
yeah,
do you throw Malik Willis or Will Levis in there and see what they got?
Yeah, I think they
Because I think no matter what, this is Tannehill's last year.
well, and also no matter how good their offense is, their defense is, I would say, one of the worst in the league.
Jeffrey Simmons is really good.
Caleb
Danico
Farley's been out. He's
Autry,
been on the field. Murphy
yeah.
Bunting was a good free agency signing.
Danico
Autry's a good
Autry is
signing.
like scary, like not scary. He's a sleeper kind of ankle.
That's
He's
just
pretty solid. Harold Landry's pretty good,
Jeffrey
and
Simmons is good.
but
Uh,
Kevin Byard's okay, but
just
the
overall, this
rest of it,
defense does not scare
yeah,
me. If you're an NFL team, planning to go up against this defense, you're probably just gonna pass the ball all over them, and there's not much they can do about it.
yeah.
But well, we won't give the Titan your favorite team, the Titans, any more time than they deserve. But D Hop, can't blame him. 2 year, 13 million a year, pretty good bag for a 30+ year
I
guy.
think he could have done way better, honestly.
Yeah. So let's
Just a
move.
better team. Like I don't
Hey,
if a somewhat because I mean I don't think the Titans have any chance at the Super Bowl.
no,
If any Super Bowl team, like any team that even remotely had a chance, where the Chiefs are gonna have a chance, the Bills are probably gonna have a chance, even though I don't know about that. We'll see. But the Jets, if
the
he'd win,
Browns, the Ravens.
any NFC team, really has a chance. Like that I would say the Eagles, but they're too loaded. They wouldn't have signed them. But like,
I will say,
what the Cowboys on a
yeah,
1 year deal,
yeah.
like
I will say,
yeah.
fantasy wise, this doesn't shake anything up in a good way, but it also gives him as much value as he could have possibly got.
I think it makes Derrick Henry more
It makes
valuable.
Henry better. I think this was fantasy, just overall fantasy. It was a win for fantasy, um,
Yeah.
because he's the only target, and now you can't load the box against Henry every snap. So well, let's move on to number 2 in our list, the Sean Payton news. This let's see, where was it? This one right here. So
Yeah.
started out, just long story short. I'll let you explain it.
Sean Payton basically said Nathaniel Hackett had the worst coaching job in the history of the NFL. Um, he basically gave Russell Wilson an out, even though it's not all one person's fault.
He
It's not
gave
all
himself an
Nathaniel
out.
Hackett.
He gave himself an
Yes, it's not all Nathaniel Hackett. It wasn't all Russ. I believe it was more Russ than Nathaniel Hackett. That's up in the air. But, Aaron Rodgers came out and was kind of like, look, coaches shouldn't say those things about other coaches just because, it's a tight league. But
keep my coach's name out your
um,
mouth.
yeah. And but I think the Jets beat them by 30 in week 5. I'll go ahead and put that on the record. I think they absolutely smoke them.
Unless
And
Russ has the greatest
he's
comeback.
not.
That's what I'm saying. Unless he has some rejuvenation that no one is expecting, like he goes back to 2014 Russ or whenever his prime was.
Yeah.
They're gonna steamroll.
I still don't think the Broncos are a playoff team.
Not in the AFC.
Yeah.
It all depends on
And
Russ.
it's like,
If Russ goes back to what they traded for, they can be a playoff team.
even if he goes back to what they're traded for, you're going to take him over Herbert and Mahomes in the same
But
division?
whole new coaching staff. They just lost Avero, a really good defensive coordinator, just came to Carolina for the same position. They lost some defensive players. Now they lost. We'll talk about the wide receivers. We might as well go ahead and talk about them. Tim Patrick and KJ Hamler. I know that's their 3 and 4 receivers. And
Yeah.
you gotta for a team for 17
To go up
million a year,
against the Chiefs, you got to
you
have depth.
you gotta have depth on that receiver, especially. Judy and Cortland Sutton are great, but after that, Sutton's been hurt a lot. Judy's been hurt. You know, it's what happened. I think Patrick was the one that is out for the year with, is it ACL? Let's
Yeah, I
see.
think it was ACL.
It was, let's see. Yeah.
ACL.
Tim Patrick, torn Achilles, out for the
And they
year.
cut KJ Hamler.
And KJ Hamler got cut for a heart inflammation. So, you know, everybody probably has an opinion on that, but it's that team is off to a rough start already. You know, you got to feel for them a little. Well, I don't feel for them because one, they beat us in the Super Bowl, and two, it's Sean Payton. It's my most hated coach of all time. So, um,
It's just to go in there and just say what he said. It's just like
Hackett, I think Hackett said it best. It was, I've been involved in the business my whole life, and as a coach's kid, we live in a glass house, and one of those things that there's a code or way things are done in that house. This past week, it's frustrating. It sucks. There's things you do, you make mistakes, blah blah blah. He owned up to it, and like you said, it can't just be his fault.
I mean,
Like
it'd have been the same thing.
he
It'd have
says
been
it
the
right here.
same
It's not about
thing.
me. This game is not about no one man. Um,
It'd have been the same thing if Bill Belichick, you know, came out the year Sean Payton was suspended for Bounty Gate. If he came out and he's like, "Yeah, this is Sean Payton's the worst coach in the league," like, I mean, no one's ever gonna say that.
yeah, and it's
Even
nice
even
to
even if they think it, it's like it's so rare that they say some stuff like that. But
you know, it's which the people that are
it's gonna be if the Broncos aren't good, they're going to hear about this the whole season. You're gonna hear
well,
about it the whole season.
this just gave the Jets some life.
They're gonna
Um,
beat them by 30 in week 5. Book
it's
it.
yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Think Garrett Wilson 3 touchdowns and probably Dalvin Cook too. We could touch on that while we're here too.
Um, yeah, we'll talk about
Um,
that one. But one thing I was gonna say is, all these the NFL is rigged world that people bang the table for. This is one of those things that's like it makes the NFL interesting, man. They
no, it definitely does.
they the script writers knew what they were doing with this for sure. But yeah,
Yeah,
touching on the Jets, this was on our list was
Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook, man. He not gonna give him too much time, but
Rogers
he hadn't
Rogers
signed
gave
there
up
yet.
Rogers gave up 30 mil.
Rodgers gave up a lot of money, dude, and Cook just visited, and everybody's talking about Cook is probably going there, and they got Brees Hall as their number two. Michael Carter is still there.
Yeah.
That's our
If
boy.
they sign Dalvin Cook though, Brees Hall still coming off the injury, they cannot rush him back as much because if they sign Dalvin Cook, it's probably a 1 year deal, probably
Mhm.
worth 11 or 12, I would think.
He ain't getting no 10 plus. No way.
I think he could.
I think he gets 7 at the most.
I think he could get 10 for 1 year. If they were
No.
going to give him a 3, if they were going to give him a 3 year deal, then maybe like
Where are they getting 10 million from?
they have 30.
Yeah,
Rogers just gave it up.
not on their not just it's not all 30 on their salary cap, you know?
Oh, I think
I
it
don't
was over 2 years, so it may have freed up like 15
I
this
don't
year or
think
something.
any running back
But
that is in their 4th, 5th, 6th year in the league is going to get 10 million.
I think you could get it just on a 1 year deal.
Maybe 10 million in incentives.
Maybe. But my whole thing is you could pay him 20 million after 1 year, he's off the books. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Now they wouldn't extend him for 3 years with that. Maybe like a $5 million deal over 3 or something. But
Yeah.
for 1 year to go all in on Rodgers, that's the whole that's what he did. He gave up the money,
Yeah. Well,
So they can
while we're on the Jets, because if Dalvin Cook he hadn't signed there yet, but it looks like he is, that offense is going to be crazy. And you can only hope Garrett Wilson stays healthy. Just
yeah.
for the sake of the team. I mean,
I
and the
think this
NFL in
ankle
general. But
injury, I think it's minor. I don't think it's not a huge deal, but they're just playing it cautious.
yeah. But
I hate the worst thing of the entire offseason is seeing guys go down in training camp for the preseason.
yep.
It's like when you have your starters out there in the last preseason game, and it's like, oh, we had a bad drive. Let's send them out for one more, and then your right tackle goes down, torn ACL out for the year. It's like, I mean, that can be your season.
Yeah. Who did they sign? Who did they sign last year? Right before this year, was it Carl Lawson?
Yeah.
Yeah, Carl Lawson went out, and he was supposed to be their number one edge rusher.
Yeah.
And he went out for the year, and now he's back. So that's even. I mean,
Their defensive
this
line's loaded.
this team is
Their defensive line
gonna be
has John Franklin Myers. They've got Quentin Williams.
Yep.
They have Carl Lawson coming back.
Yep.
Their defense is scary. And I saw something the other day. It said no joking around. I saw something that said the Bills have the second best defense in the league, and the Jets weren't even in the top 10. I was like, who made this list?
Yeah.
The Jets were
Little
top 5
little
last year
step.
and only got better.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, like you just said, possibly ending your season with an injury, I think we should talk about old Burrow boy. Where's he at?
Joe Burrow.
Not there. Did I have Burrow pulled up?
You
Let
might
me
not
pull it
have.
up right here. Let's see. So
Yeah, this is
definitely good
scary.
news. That video, if you watched it, did not look good. I wish I had.
They carted him off.
Yeah, I wish I had a
Most
video,
ham
man.
most hamstrings. I mean, guys can walk off the field.
Yeah. Well, the news was he was, rolling out of the pocket and he was just, I mean, just rolling out of the pocket on a normal play, pulled up, grabbed his calf. Everyone thought it was, one of the bad ligaments,
ACL. Yeah.
and it did not look good. Carted him off, a few hours later, came back just a calf strain. Should be back by regular season. All that mess. But that's scary. You
But
still
he
wanna,
loses even if he comes back week 1, he loses the entire off season, training
yep,
camp, preseason. Which me personally, I wouldn't play. I would never put him out there.
yeah,
Him, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase, I wouldn't play him a single snap in the preseason.
yeah.
It's not worth it. It's just not worth it.
Let's see if we can find. Here's that video. Just a normal play, man. They're not even going 100%.
They don't even have pads on.
Yeah, they're still wearing shorts and t-shirts. Oh, that's so scary, dude.
God, dude, that could be the season.
And that's not even one of our teams. That's not even Bryce or AR. That's we have a Super Bowl window right now, and our top three league in the league quarterback goes down holding his leg, and it's
Yeah,
just
it's
scary,
scary.
scary, dude. But ended up just being you know, the calf whatever it was.
Yeah,
Not tearing
He'll be fine.
not tearing anything.
But
But let's move on to we talked about Garrett Wilson, his injury.
yeah,
It shouldn't be too serious, but he's missing time with Rodgers. That's a big deal.
we
Um,
got
let's see.
Cooper Cup. You want to go there next?
Yeah, let's go to Cooper Cup. Cooper Cup's injured now. Uh,
Yeah,
expected to sideline star for not expected to sideline for the season opener, but who knows? I think was it hamstring for him. Um, let's see.
it's just like once again,
Yeah,
like
hamstring injury.
if he can't start the season, the Rams start 0-3. It's your season's pretty much over.
So where does this? Oh, for sure. Especially if Stafford's not even. We don't even know.
I
He's still
know.
he's still up
Yeah.
in the air.
It could
Um,
be Stetson Bennett's season
this
out
could
in
be Stetson
LA.
Bennett, and he might have that. He might have that Purdy effect, man. But
Mm.
where does this? If you're picking at, pick 5 through 10, and obviously Cup's one of the best players on the board, even though his situation is not the best. He's obviously PPR monster.
I wouldn't draft him top 5.
Well, not top. I'm just saying if you're picking that later half of the first, and it's between Cooper Kupp and Stephon Diggs and those guys. You're obviously Cooper Kupp is highly rated. Where
See,
does
but I
does this
might
bump
would
into the
take.
second?
I think it does. I'm like if I might would take Diggs over Cooper Cup
Yeah.
just because there's so many questions. It's is this going to nag him the whole season?
Yep.
Is Stafford going to be the quarterback the whole season?
Yep.
Stephon Diggs, no injury. He's going to get the ball. I think he led the league in target share last year.
Yep.
It's
It's
now
kind of sad, man.
Building a team. I'm taking Cooper Cup all day. He's a better wide receiver than Diggs, but
I mean,
for 1 year,
I think he's still Justin Jefferson level of most talented receiver in the league. I mean, he proved it.
but just for 1 year, there's so many questions with this
It
Rams
really
team this year.
sucks. It
Now
really
the
sucks.
NFC is a cakewalk compared to the AFC, so if they get off to a hot start, they could definitely be a playoff team too.
And it's just a
Uh,
hamstring, but I know,
yeah,
with McCaffrey, those soft tissue injuries, they
they can
linger.
linger. They
They linger.
linger.
So, one more question about him. If you're sitting there pick 10, Cup falls all the way to pick 10, And you always said that if a 10-man league, you pick 10, and then the first one on the next, you got back-to-back picks. I
Yeah.
mean, it's hard to pass him up right there, man. But I
I
know this is
know.
going to drop him a little bit. But there's not. It's gonna be. It'll be weird seeing him fall out of the first, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, it depends on how it goes. If he comes back and he's 100% before the season starts, it kind of depends on when you draft.
Yeah, we
Some
still
people
got a
are
couple
drafting
weeks
like
before
some
ours.
people are drafting now and
Yeah,
in the next couple weeks. The
which
way
I
I've always
disagree
done
with.
it, yeah, the way we've always drafted like 3 days to a week before.
Hmm. That's
So
right.
there's no you don't draft now and then someone tear their ACL in training camp and you wasted a top 10 pick.
That's right. Well, let's move off of
But
him.
there are people drafting right now.
Let's yeah, there are people,
Crazy.
and that's blows my mind.
Yeah,
But
it's crazy.
let's move on to another injury. Kenneth Walker and their guy they just spent was it a second or a third round pick on Charbonnet.
think
Um,
I think he was a second, to be honest
he
with
was an early round pick for a running back.
you. Yeah.
Um, and they're 1 and 2s down.
Mhm.
That's Kenneth Walker had a good year. He got hurt, so he's still
Yeah.
dealing with the same stuff. Kenneth Walker's supposed to have a huge year. The Seahawks were going to have a big year, adding in Jigba. Gino, if he stays high, riding high like he was. And DK's only getting better. Lockett's still going to be that, vertical Lockett guy. And Kenneth Walker was going to have a massive year. And now he's out for the preseason, basically. And now their number two, who was supposed to be I've seen a lot of guys comparing him to like DeMarco Murray, just straight up
Yeah.
big body, downhill. You're not slowing him down once he gets going.
The Seahawks do a great job with drafting running back
Yeah.
replacements.
Yep.
They draft a running back high every 2 years,
There
and
was a
it
smooth transition from
it pays off.
Marshawn to Chris Carson to Kenneth Walker as a rookie last year had a good year and he got hurt, but
Yeah. But
they've
they've even had guys like DJ Dallas who came in and had
yep,
great games, and
Rashad Penny,
yeah.
yep, and
I think
good
they
to see.
drafted Rashad Penny first round and he didn't pan out, but I mean he's still a decent running back.
You hate to see it no matter what. Um,
Yeah.
but
But once
we'll
again,
see.
if this does affect his fantasy position, um, if you could get Kenneth Walker in a later round, it'd
Well,
probably be worth it.
if he's going in that 5 through 7 range, I guess he's obviously a top 25, 30 running back, talent
Mm,
wise and fantasy wise with situation and everything. He's
yeah.
gonna fall a little bit. Someone might get a steal, man.
Hmm.
We'll move off of him. Let's save the Jonathan
Yeah.
Taylor.
Let's go to Camara. I go to Camara.
We'll go to Kamara next. Going to the NFC South now. The one of the worst divisions of football, I'd say. Um, he met with with Goodell today or
Goodell.
yesterday?
Uh, I think it was today.
Yeah. Well, it came out after the meeting. He is expected to get suspended, and I had an idea that this should be we can make two bets in this video, two of our wagers for that Colts and Panthers hat.
Okay.
This is one we'll talk about the next one later, but this one right here, um, how many games does he get suspended? Because
Here's
we're
we can
seeing
well I will bet that we'll bet on that because I think he will get suspended. My question is, um,
we've seen full year
it's
suspensions for gambling.
I
We've
know
seen Deshaun
it's
Watson get maybe 11
here's
games.
my problem with it, and this is you know a guy like Amari Rogers for the Colts. He places all these bets, and
Not
they
Amari,
suspend him
Isaiah.
indefinitely.
Isaiah.
Isaiah Rogers, my bad, my bad. We just signed Amari
Yeah, he
Rogers.
just signed
That's
Amari Rodgers.
but Isaiah Rogers, he placed all these bets, and the NFL suspends him indefinitely, basically kicking him out of the league. He's got to reapply for to get back in the league, and then they're gonna hand down. I don't know what they're gonna hand down. I'd say a 4-game suspension on like domestic violence case. Like you're telling me sports
They,
gambling is
yeah,
worse than that?
they have got to get their priorities because Deshaun
It's like
Watson with was it 24 allegations was 11
yeah,
games, which 11 games
I
ain't
know.
nothing.
No,
but
I know.
he still got a
But
fully guaranteed
if you
contract.
go to Calvin Ridley, and that Calvin Ridley wasn't even as bad as Isaiah Rodgers. Calvin Ridley made one bet for like $2,000, not on his team.
Yep.
While he was away from the organization, wasn't even playing.
Yep.
And they suspend him for a
Do you
season. And
think?
they're gonna hand down a 4-game suspension to Alvin Kamara, who like sucker punched a guy.
Do you
Like,
think if if the NFL was rigged, right?
yeah.
Do you think they keep him away from the gambling because it is a that is a no that is
Yeah, I
that's
see what you're saying.
no number one, dude. Like if it
I
was
know,
rigged, I don't believe it.
just look at it through a public point of view. You're gonna tell me betting, and $2,000 to them is like $20 to us.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, the dude's making $10 million a year. He bets $2,000, and you're suspending for the whole season. This dude, Alvin Kamara, is gonna sucker punch a guy, and he's gonna get 4 games. Now,
Let's
it all goes back to it. I don't think there's no charges. So, I mean, yeah, I guess it. I mean, it's definitely against the law it's assault. He assaulted a guy,
yeah.
but it's like if they here's my thing with any off the field stuff in the NFL. If you're not charged in a court of law, like if you settle with them, how should they have the right? Because when you get suspended, they're suspending his pay too. He's not going to get paid for however many games he gets suspended for.
Yeah.
So they have a right to take millions away from him on something that he settled in court and was not charged with. I don't know if I agree with that.
Settled it on his own without,
No,
I think it's
but I definitely think it's way worse than still betting $2,000 on a football game.
because if you don't punish them though, these guys are the
I
face of
know,
the league.
I know.
They're the
Yeah,
face of the league. If you don't punish them,
I know.
it's player conduct, all that kind of stuff. It's in your contract when
But
you stay out.
But all I'm saying, and I agree. I think the NFL definitely has to do something. But all I'm saying is, there's no charges.
Yeah. Well, let's I think we both think he's going to get suspended. It said he's expected to. Let's make our guess. We'll put an episode wearing Colt or Panther hat on this.
Yeah.
I'll let you go first.
See, whatever I do, you're just gonna go 1 game more, 1 game less.
Now, how about what if we say higher or lower than 4.5?
Yeah, that's good.
See, but I would say lower, and I'm assuming you would too.
I would probably take the over on that. We're
You think
betting
so?
on we're betting on his suspension.
You think so?
I think I would take the over on 4.5.
So you think
Because my thing is, if it's under 4.5, it has to be 4 or 3. He's getting more than 3.
I think he's getting
For
4
sure.
games. I think he's getting a 4 game.
I think it's gonna be 4 or 5. Yeah.
So you take 5, I take 4?
I'll take the over.
Okay. So let's just make it straight up. If it's 5, you win. If it's 4, I win.
Yeah, and if it's like 7, I'll win too. And if it's
No,
2,
no,
you win.
no, because the odds are
Yeah,
horrible.
we're doing over under.
No, we're not doing over under. No, because the odds
that's
are,
what you just said.
the
You
odds
just
are
said
way
4.5.
against me. The odds are way
You just
against me.
said 4.5.
No, we're not doing that. I'll take 4.
What
You
if
take
they
5.
suspend?
Come on.
It's gonna be.
You already said you think it's 5.
I said I think it's over 4.5. I could see him getting suspended for 10 games.
So pick a number.
I mean, I'll do the 5, but I thought you said the over under.
Well, let's just skip this week.
Oh no, I'll take 5. You take 4.
Okay, 5 and 4.
All right.
Okay,
And if it's
shake
6
on
or
it.
3, no one wins.
If it's 6 or 3, no one wins. Shake on it.
Sure.
Okay, 4 and 5, people. You heard that. If it's 4, he's wearing that Panther hat, baby. But
What if it's like? But here's my thing. If it's like, I just don't see how they're going to suspend him for 2 games and then like suspend Calvin Ridley for a year. It makes no sense.
Rigged.
That makes no sense.
Unless it's rigged, man. But let's get off this crappy team. Go to a much better Super Bowl contender. Panthers signing Deion Jones late free agency. Bias. Obviously, I'm going to be biased no matter what, but I think it was a great signing. He's a year removed from, being a 2 or 3 seasons in a row of one of the top middle linebackers in the league. Not obviously Fred Warner or that type level, but a good, above average starter. With our linebacking core, Shaq Thompson's obviously been a pretty solid piece for a while now. He's, Shaq's good. Frankie Louvu is underrated. He's good. And Brian Burns is going to play that outside linebacker role. We didn't really have that second middle guy. And Deion Jones is a coverage guy. He can get in the backfield a little bit, but I think his experience, I think he starts immediately and is going to make an impact immediately. But I think he was on the Browns last year. Let's see.
Yeah.
He only signed. He's still only 28 years old. Played 11 games last year. And this year he signed a 1-year deal. So
Yeah, I like the sound a lot too. Unbiased. I think
But-
it's solid sound.
I think it's our defense is already it's supposed to be pretty good. And this just bolsters it, this just bolsters it more, which is nice to see this late in the year. It's hard to find guys like this available, and especially guys that are, most of these. He's a pretty good player, and him taking on a 1-year deal is pretty good for Panthers. So we'll see how it goes. He actually took Brian Burns' old number because Burns is 0 now.
Yeah,
And
the number of
Jones,
sacks he's gonna have this year.
you've made that joke 5 times. Stop it.
Ah,
And
garbage.
Jones is took 53. It's gonna take me like 8 games to get used to seeing a 53 roam in the middle of the field. But here's the biggest
Now,
news.
the terrible news.
Biggest dumpster fire in the NFL, the Indianapolis Colts, whose owner is on cocaine and craps on his players publicly. This is
Don't make me bring up the Panthers owner because he had to sell the team. NFL forced him to sell the team.
stop.
Jim
Listen,
Irsay is the oldest owner in the league. It is his
and
league.
he has to do cocaine to stay away.
It
You
is
seen that man's
it
eyes?
is Jim Irsay's league. Every owner in the NFL was approved by Jim Irsay.
Listen, dude.
Take that to the
Listen,
bank.
Just because
Take
he's
that
the
to the
oldest,
bank.
Joe Biden's also our president. So don't make me make that comparison.
There we go. I'm just telling you. Well, right now it's Joe Biden's country, and right now it's Jim Irsay's league.
Oh God, it's not a good thing.
to
So
the
what are you
bank.
saying, dude?
What do you
No,
mean? Every owner in the
listen.
NFL right now, Jim Irsay has approved.
Well, you've got to defend your owner. It's okay. I will defend. You got to defend him in some capacity. Sometimes you can't really defend him. But
Here, well, let me just.
I'll
give
let you
my
break
take
down.
on
You break down what's happening. Break down what's happening first, and then give your opinion.
Okay. 3 months ago, JT in April, he came out and he said, "I put pen to paper. I signed my contract. I'm gonna play out my contract." He was the hero of Indianapolis 3 months ago. Jonathan Taylor was. He's the brightest player on our team. Well, probably one of the smartest players on our team. And without him, we were terrible. Obviously, last year he got a little hurt. His stats were down. We've seen that with McCaffrey. We've seen
He's arguably the biggest star on your
Ty
team.
Gurley. Yeah, we've seen it with a bunch of running backs who get hurt and have down years. The season before that, he arguably should have won MVP. He was top 3 in voting. They gave it to Rodgers. I think they gave it to the quarterback. He had over 2,000 scrimmage yards and 20 touchdowns. But in April, he said, "I signed the contract. I'm gonna play out my contract." Then he fires his agent and hires this new agent. The new agent, I don't know. The new agent just, Jim Irsay put a tweet out of, agents are selling bad faith. And it's Jonathan Taylor went from being the most liked guy in the building to now he's the enemy of Indianapolis, all in a 3-month span. And there's one variable, and he fired his old agent and hired a new agent. Now, I don't think Jim Irsay should be going out there and saying, putting in the headlines, "We're not paying a running back," all this stuff. He shouldn't be doing that. But, I think Jonathan Taylor, I believe he deserves to be paid. Now, I'm not going to give him a Christian McCaffrey deal. I'm not going to give him an Alvin Kamara deal just because we've seen if the Saints could get out of Alvin Kamara right now, they would. The Panthers traded Christian McCaffrey. It's just the state of the running back market. But if I went to Jonathan Taylor right now and I said, "Would you take a 3-year, $40 million contract with like 28 million guaranteed, in the third year as a player option, would he take that? I think it would. It'd be team friendly because we can get out after 2, which is before Anthony Richardson's contract will be up. But the way Jim Irsay's made it seem is we have him for this year. We could place him on that of the non-playable list or whatever, to where his contract is pretty much waived this year. We have the rights to him next year, and then we could tag him for 2 more years.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't like doing that. If that's what it's gonna be, just trade him. But like, I don't know. He can't go. It's so weird. Like he literally in 3 months, he went from the best player on our team and the most loved player on our team to just enemy number 1.
Well, it's like you said, it's the running back market is. We'll talk about that too after Jonathan Taylor. But
Saquon Barkley deserves his money. Without him, the Giants win like 5 games last year.
when you look at how much they touch the ball and how much a good running back affects a team,
Yeah.
they should be paid like a receiver.
Josh Jacobs, even though the Raiders were garbage last year, Josh Jacobs deserves to be paid.
Yeah. And it's just the biggest issue I have with all this is, yes, Taylor's agent, Taylor, speaking out how he did. Irsay's comments when he says, when I'm dead and gone and JT's out of the league will move on. Nobody's going to care. That is crazy. Like that, you can't, as an owner, you cannot say something about your star player.
It's the truth.
Yeah, but it's not something you say.
I know, but all he's saying is Tom Brady's out of the league now. Who cares about Tom Brady right now?
Yeah, but Tom Brady's a quarterback who's won 7 Super Bowls and got paid. Jonathan Taylor got nothing.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, I mean, yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is Brady's arguably the greatest player in the history of the NFL. He's no one's thinking about him right now.
But that is easy for a billionaire to say compared to a guy who deserves to be paid.
I'm in the camp Jonathan Taylor deserves to be paid. We need to pay him.
Yeah.
I'm on his side, but that statement is not a false statement.
It depends on how you look at it, for sure. It depends on how you look at it, because it's like I said, it's easy for a billionaire who's probably selling a team in the next 5 years to say something like that.
He ain't selling the
team. Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Does he have a son or a daughter that'll take over?
He's got a daughter that's gonna. She's like high up in the building.
Okay. Anyways, he's a billionaire who will not be running the team anymore in the next.
I understand that. Listen, I understand that, but it's not just.
Jonathan Taylor's one of the best running backs in the league.
It's not like every running back in the league is getting $20 million deals, and Irsay has this like vendetta against Jonathan Taylor. That's not what's going on.
That's what he made it sound like with his comment.
But it's not. It's a league wide issue. It's not Saquon Barkley just got $20 million a year for 3 years, and Jonathan Taylor's like making $2 million. That's not what's going on. It's a league wide issue. That has to be renegotiated.
They've also threatened him to send him on the unable to perform, where he doesn't get paid for the season, and he came out himself and said that was all a lie. So where do we go with that?
Well, see, we got to get our facts straight though. Nobody from Indy said they were going to do that. Is your insiders?
Let's see.
That was never a direct quote from Jim Irsay or Chris Ballard or anybody in our franchise. Yeah. That was rumors. It was, it's his top one. It's the top one.
Is this it?
Yeah.
Never had back pain. Never reported back pain. If they do,
even like he said, not sure who sources are.
Yeah.
Find new one. It's.
Well,
we're not going to put him in. We're either going to trade him or he's going to play. That's one of 2 answers.
So that gets into our wager.
Yeah. Do you think he'll be traded or do you think not?
I think you get a 2nd round pick and he goes to Chicago.
We're not trading him. We're not trading him.
If he gets traded. I don't think he will be traded either. But if he gets traded, I think you get a 2nd round. The one that we gave them, I think you get a second
I
round
think
pick.
if we were to trade him, we would trade him for another player.
Think so?
Yeah.
In a rebuild, y'all are sort of rebuilding.
We're not as far off as everyone thinks we are.
Well, that depends on AR.
It does, but we have a top 10 defense in the league. And when Andrew Luck came in the league, everyone said
Where did
we
y'all's
won
defense
two
finish
games.
last year?
I don't know, but Shaq Leonard's fully healthy now. We just brought in our defense top 10. Our defense was really good last year until like the last 3 games when we were obviously tanking.
Yeah.
But our team is actually a really good team. It's just the quarterback. When the year Peyton was hurt, and then that offseason we released him when we drafted Andrew Luck, we won 2 games a year before Andrew Luck came in and took us to the playoff year one. I'm not saying Anthony Richardson's going to do that, but if we won, 8 games, it wouldn't surprise me because our team is good. If the Panthers win 8 games, it's not going to surprise me. Y'all have I think y'all do have more questions at receiver than you like, but y'all's defense is really good. You got a decent running back. There's a lot of optimism too. It's all about who gets hot. And what I'm saying is, if Anthony Richardson comes in, he's the real deal. We can win 8 games.
Yep. Well,
Luck went 11-5 his rookie year.
Luck and Anthony Richardson is not Andrew Luck, so stop.
He could be better.
Will Levis could be better. Anybody
He
could be
be.
better.
Yeah, he
That's
could
so
be.
easy to say.
But Will Levis isn't the most athletic quarterback to ever come through the NFL draft. No, that sir would be Anthony Richardson. And
What does that have to do with reading defenses and throwing the ball into tight windows? Nothing.
you're about to see Anthony
Wow, he can
Richardson
run a
has
ball. He can
no,
run. That's great.
he has a
Listen, though, and
cannon.
like I said,
He has a
I'm a
cannon.
fan of AR. I have been since we were at pick 9. I've always liked AR. It's just you gotta temper your expectations year one, dude.
No, I am. I think if we win more than 6 games, it's a solid season. Peyton won like 2 games his first year. Andrew Luck was just ungodly into the playoffs.
Yeah.
But it was like if we win more than 6 games, it's a success. I think if he's who I think he is, and if Steichen coaches the offense like he coached Jalen Hurts last season, I don't think it's out of the question for us to win like 8 games.
Yep.
I'm not saying we're going to light the league on fire and win 13, but I think we go 8-9.
Yep.
And that'd be a solid season for us.
I would.
Rookie year.
You gotta have.
But we got to have Jonathan Taylor too. We
Gotta have Jonathan Taylor. You've got to have Pittman. Pittman's got to make a leap for sure.
Yeah. I think Pittman will make a leap this year, and I think Downs is going to be a sneaky addition. I really do.
I think so. But I think we went a little longer than expected.
Yeah.
Talking about just because we had a lot of news to catch up on. Maybe we can start doing this once a week along with one fantasy a week. But the next one probably won't be. I don't even know how long we've been going, but we just had a whole list to catch up on. So, but you sure you don't want to make a wager on if Taylor gets traded?
I just think we traded for a player. I mean,
But where? Pick a team.
I've seen there's been some rumors.
Chiefs. He ain't going to the Chiefs.
I've seen the Chiefs. One rumor was the Patriots. You think we're going to trade him to the Patriots? You're out of your mind.
No,
we're not trading.
No shot. I think he gets traded.
What about
a second to Chicago?
What about the?
That would make that team actually kind of fun.
I think the Dolphins could be a real possibility.
Yeah. Whoever gets him is.
What if we sent Jonathan Taylor and a 1 to Miami for Waddle?
That'd be wild.
That'd be a good trade,
dude. But we'll see. Make your wager.
you want to bet on which team?
Let's bet on.
Let's not do compensation because I don't know what. I mean, something crazy.
Just what team? There's not much to wager on right now in the preseason. So
I'll say the Dolphins.
Dolphins. I'm gonna go Chicago. So we've got 2 wagers going.
However, I want to make it clear we're not trading Jonathan Taylor.
I don't think you are either. I don't think you will either.
We're gonna
But
force him to. We're gonna force him to play.
Irsay's got some mending to do. So
It's dude. It all happened with his agent. It's 2 months ago, 3 months ago. He was the number one guy in our locker room in Indianapolis, and it's just complete 180. It's literally like he went to the Zoom that all the running backs had like a week ago, and something switched, and he said, and it's like every running back in that meeting agreed. They're like, we're not taking any more crap. We're getting our deals. The day after the meeting, Saquon Barkley signs for $900,000 more. Like he won the negotiations. He didn't. And then Austin Eckler still ain't got a deal. Josh Jacobs still ain't got a deal. JT still ain't got a deal. Like,
yeah,
those are all top 10 running backs in the NFL.
and all the owners and GMs are like, all right, we'll just sign some freak athlete from some community
Yeah,
college
I know.
somewhere, and he'll probably put up at least 70% of your numbers. So
Yeah,
which is sad. It's just that position, man.
Mm.
I think where the line is drawn is like, yeah, the elite ones are hard to come by, but the good ones.
What do you mean? JT's elite.
No. I'm saying we're talking about the running back position. The elite running backs are hard to come by, but the good ones aren't. So it's
And
like
good ones can still win you a Super Bowl.
good ones can still win you. You don't need
Yeah,
an elite running
right.
back to win a Super
But
Bowl.
what I'm saying is,
You have to have
just
an
think
elite
about
receiver.
this. Just think about this. If Austin Eckler, JT, and Saquon Barkley, and Josh Jacobs, if all the teams just released them today, they were all on the market. There's a team that would give Jonathan Taylor $12 million a year.
No question. There's
It's
20
not even
that would give him 12 million. Eckler would get 12 million. And who's the other one you said?
Josh Jacobs.
And Josh
and
Jacobs.
Saquon would get 12.
They'd all get 10 plus.
Yeah.
Well,
it's crazy.
It's gonna be cool to see how things shake up. I'm ready for the season. I'm ready for fantasy. I'm ready for it all. So I'm
ready for the Colts to smack the Panthers.
on my birthday. Ain't happening. I
Yes,
hope
sir.
I really hope Anthony Richardson starting by that week.
He's gonna start week 1.
We'll see. He's getting the first team reps.
Yep.
Bryce's named the starter last week. So he was named the starter when they made the trade up to 1, pretty much, anyways.
Anthony Richardson was the starter when we drafted him.
Do you know who's been like wide receiver 1 through camp?
Marshall.
Chark.
That's not good. That ain't great for y'all.
What? Chark is good. He just can't get on the field.
I mean, I know, but what I'm saying is, if he's your number 1, like if I'm a Panthers fan, I would expect the best wide receiver, like consistency wise, to be Thielen.
Well, we have it's preseason, so the Chark is every single day. There is some sort of Chark mossing someone.
Go to Twitter. Pull Twitter back up real quick. Pull up. Type in Josh Downs catch. Did you see that?
Stop.
Is this the one? No, that ain't the one. Scroll down. Yeah, this is it. Watch this. This is clean.
Oh my!
Yeah, hold on. Now you'll see it from a different angle. Yeah,
it's a basic one-handed catch. Stop.
Okay. Yeah.
Stop. Right. Let's see. I'll show you a real.
Did you see the George Pickens catch?
Yes.
That
was wild.
That was and the interception. Was it the Giants? The defensive back. It was an insane pick.
I think so. But Chark, every single day, there has been some sort of news of Bryce hitting Chark with a back shoulder. This was like day one. This was day 1 of camp. This was like the biggest play of the day. Throws it deep. Chark's, listen, I'm trying to find every day. The reason Chark's been breaking out is every day it's been some sort of deep ball from Bryce to Chark. And it's just been Chark. But
yeah. Look up. I think it's Giants. The Giants DB. Just type in Giants interception. It was insane. I think it was the Giants. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This was crazy.
That is better than Odell's catch.
No, it's not. You're crazy.
It's up there.
No.
Bro,
Odell caught the
Odell,
ball with 3 fingers
he did catch it with 3 fingers,
over
but
a dude.
he also caught it like with the ball. This guy stopped the ball out of the air.
I don't know.
Odell caught it falling with the ball.
Have you ever seen the Kenny Moore interception on the Raiders?
Mm-mm.
Look that up. It's
All right,
nasty.
this is the last one we're looking up.
All right.
Let's
Kenny
see.
Moore, INT, Raiders. I don't even know if you can find it, honestly. It's so long ago. It was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Hunter's gonna get cut soon.
You think?
Yeah, I think so. He either get cut or traded for a fifth.
Yeah, you might not even be it. Just go to click videos. Yeah.
My internet's been awful. Yeah, it's the only video.
Yeah,
That's all right.
yeah, that's fine. I'll find it. I'll show it to you later, but
Well,
it was
let's
pretty
let's
insane.
wrap it up, man. Like we said, this was probably a little longer than we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Just because we had to catch up on some stuff. But when we start doing our weekly news videos, they should be a little bit quicker. So
Should be like 20-minute videos.
yeah. So we got 2 wagers going. We got Kamara suspension. I've got 4 games. You got 5. And Jonathan Taylor, I got him to go into Chicago, and you got him going to Miami if he gets traded. We don't think he will
Yeah.
be, but if
He
he
ain't getting
does,
traded.
we've got a wager on it. So
Bryce Young's got a better chance of being dealt than Johnson Taylor.
no
I'll
shot.
tell you that.
Well, we if anybody's watching, appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that mess, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
See you.